Welcome to another episode, Chosen One. Funny how the world pretends to be confused about you. Funny how they keep whispering, how are they still alive? How are they still standing? How did every hit miss? They're acting shocked, like they didn't spend months plotting behind your back. Like they didn't throw everything they had, then stand there stunned when nothing worked. The silence right now is loud. The same people who claimed you'd never make it are suddenly looking like they need to bow just to process the fact that you're still breathing. They said you were done. They swore you were finished. They counted your days like they were keeping score. And now look at them, blinking, shaking, trying to pretend they weren't waiting for news of your downfall. The universe watched every lie they told, every fake smile, every time they hoped you'd collapse. And now the universe is dragging their little secrets out into the light one by one. They're terrified because this is the part of the story where you rise and their efforts crumble like wet paper. Chosen One, press the like button and hit subscribe. It's the easiest way to pay this message back and keep this mission alive. Anyway, back to the fun part. Look at the shift around you. Look how the air changed. Look how the same mouths that talked loud now move in whispers. Look how their eyes follow you like you're a walking warning label. They thought you were soft. They thought you were easy to erase. They thought you'd fold the second life got rough. But you didn't fold. You stiffened. You sharpened. You turned into something their little strategies were never built to face. And now they're scared. Not scared of what you might do tomorrow. No, scared of what you've already survived. You know the story, Chosen One. From the moment you were born, something about you irritated the wrong people. You didn't even have to speak. Your presence alone exposed everything fake around you. Adults who should have protected you felt threatened. Kids your age envied you for reasons they couldn't name. You were always the one being tested, and everyone pretended it was normal. They tried you early, little betrayals to see if you'd shatter, little rejections to see if you'd cling, little mind games to see if they could shape you into something weaker. They pushed you, poked you, calculated every move, hoping you'd break in a way they could use. But you didn't. There was something inside you that refused to bow, something quiet, something deep, something ancient, something that made even the universe pause, like, yeah, this one is different. People thought they were breaking you, but really they were revealing themselves. You survived childhood moments that would have destroyed people twice your age. You survived friendships that were traps. You survived love that was meant to drain you. You survived environments you had no business surviving. You walked through rooms where you weren't welcome, but you still walked out with your head high. There was a time in your teens when everything around you felt like it was collapsing. Someone close to you betrayed you just to watch your reaction. They expected tears. Instead, you went quiet. You didn't scream. You didn't beg. You watched them burn their own bridge while thinking they were burning you. That moment changed something. It rewired you. It introduced you to your own strength before you even knew its name. Years later, you hit another storm, a breakup, a loss, a disappointment, something that should have killed your spirit. And again, you didn't fall. You got quiet. You rebuilt. You evolved. You showed a level of endurance that even you didn't realize you had. Every time the universe watched you crawl out of another mess, it added another layer of protection around you. Not divine, not magical, just the kind of protection that forms naturally when a person refuses to die inside, no matter what hits them. And now, here you are, alive, breathing, moving, calm like someone who already knows the ending, calm like someone who has nothing left to fear, calm like someone who understands that the worst has already happened and it still wasn't enough. This is the part that scares them the most. Because they tried harming you through lies, didn't work. They tried hurting you through loss, didn't work. They tried destroying your peace, didn't work. They tried turning people against you, didn't work. They even tried using energy, intentions, and nasty thoughts, hoping something finally hits. And guess what the practitioner had to admit? Even they said it. Nothing touches this one. Their energy is too strong. Imagine their faces hearing that. Imagine planning someone's ending only to be told you don't even have the reach to scratch them. Imagine hating someone so deeply but still having to accept they're out of your league. Your survival is embarrassing them. You're not alive by luck. You're alive because you're not prey. Your consequence, your life itself, is a verdict. Every breath you take drags another lie they told into the open. Every step you take exposes another person who wished you harm. Every moment you keep going proves their intentions were weak. You know why they can't handle you, because you were built in silence, raised in storms, grown in chaos, trained in heartbreak. You didn't ask for this life, but you earned every piece of power you carry now. The universe didn't choose you randomly. It recognized your pattern. Survive, rebuild, repeat. You are the one who keeps getting up when the whole world expects you to disappear. The reason you're still alive is simple. You outsmarted storms that were designed to erase you. You outlasted people who planned for your ending. You became the truth they hoped would never come out. And now, the same people who tried to bury you are studying you like a problem they can't solve. Chosen one, keep listening. This is only the beginning, and the parts coming next will hit even harder. Number 1. When they put your name on that altar, and the altar flinched. They wanted you gone so badly, and still ended up proving you're the one thing they can't destroy. Chosen one, let's talk about the moment everything flipped. The moment your name reached a place where weak people thought they finally had the perfect way to erase you. They sent your name to someone who bragged about ending bloodlines, someone who thought they understood power, someone who believed they could bend fate like it was soft plastic. They treated you like just another file on their desk, another mark, another easy job. They thought your life story was going to end with a whisper. They had no clue your next chapter was about to scream in their face. Because when your name reached that altar, the whole room changed. The air shifted. The candles didn't behave normally. The smoke didn't rise like it usually does. The practitioner knew the signs. They recognized resistance. But they pushed anyway because they believed they had control. That's the funniest part. They thought they were the hunters, but they were walking straight into your territory. This practitioner wasn't some random fool. They had experience. They weren't new to this. They had handled cases where people crumbled fast. They loved easy targets. They loved fear. They lived off of people who already believed they were doomed. But your name hit that altar with a different weight. It didn't land like a victim's name. It landed like a warning. And that practitioner felt it. They tried to ignore it, but their body knew the truth before their mind admitted it. What was the truth? You weren't prey. You weren't food. You weren't fuel for anyone else's intentions. You were the consequence they never trained for. The moment they spoke your name into the smoke, something pushed back. Not a deity, not a divine being, nothing mystical, just your energy, your pattern, your history, your survival, your unbreakable core. You've been through so much pain, betrayal, abandonment and disappointment that your energy doesn't respond like normal people's. You've been tempered. Your spirit has memory. Your soul has scars that became armor. When they called your name, that armor answered louder than the spell. The practitioner expected silence. Instead, they felt a presence. Your presence. Your will. Your story. Everything that makes you impossible to erase. The smoke didn't swallow your name. It returned it. This is what people never understood about you. They think because you walked with a soft heart, because you tried to love, because you carried empathy, because you gave people chances they didn't deserve, you must be weak. They don't realize softness in someone like you is not weakness. It's control. It's restraint. You could have snapped years ago. You could have turned cold, violent, or chaotic. You could have chosen destruction. But you didn't. Instead, you learned. You watched. You survived. You became quiet. And in that quiet, something inside you sharpened. You know what the practitioner felt that night? They felt the weight of someone who has already survived situations worse than anything they could produce. They felt your history. They felt your battles. They felt your endurance. They felt the parts of you that have walked through fire so long that flames don't even scare you anymore. You're the kind of person who cries alone, then walks out the next morning like nothing happened. You're the kind who breaks in private, then rebuilds in silence, stronger every time. You're the kind who has been betrayed by people you trusted, yet somehow still didn't turn bitter. That kind of soul terrifies people who rely on fear to win. That's why the altar reacted. The practitioner didn't say it out loud, but the moment they tried to pull your thread, they realized your thread wasn't a thread. It was a chain, and pulling it meant pulling everything that protects you, everything that built you, everything that hardened you. They thought they were summoning weakness. They accidentally summoned your whole legacy. Enemies will ask, how is the chosen one still alive? How are they still standing? The answer is simple. Everything they used against you was too small. Let's break this down the way your mind might be thinking it right now. Why me? Why did they choose my name? Because you exposed something in them just by existing. Your presence triggers truth. And people who live through lies can't handle someone who shines through them. Why didn't it work? Because your life was shaped by storms that made you stronger than their intentions. Their attempts didn't match your endurance. Their energy didn't match your survival instinct. Their motivation didn't match your purpose. So, what did the practitioner see? They saw someone with a pattern that doesn't fall, someone protected by their own strength, someone who has lived through so much pain that outside intentions bounce off like rubber bullets, someone whose will is stronger than their fear, someone who is, quite literally, built different. When the practitioner tried to cut your thread, they found out you're not a thread at all. You're a rope woven from survival, heartbreak, comebacks, inner strength, stubborn hope, and the universe's favor built up over years of never giving up. You're reinforced. Their spell wasn't built for someone like you. Their energy couldn't overpower yours. Their intentions couldn't reach your level. You know the biggest joke of all? They thought you didn't know your own strength, but your strength has been speaking for you long before you ever understood it. Imagine this scene clearly. A room lit with candles, shadows on the walls, the practitioner preparing to do what they've done 100 times. They speak your name, expecting the usual response, but instead of a door opening, a door slams shut. Instead of energy bending, energy rises. Instead of your name falling into the smoke, it hits the air like thunder. Their hand shakes, their breath shifts, their heart beats differently because you aren't the victim they're used to. You aren't the story that ends in silence. You aren't the type who disappears. You're the type who survives everything they throw. You're the type who returns stronger. You're the type who scares people by simply staying alive. This is why their plan failed. Because your story was never written to end on someone else's terms. Because your willpower is heavier than their intentions. Because your soul is built in a way that absorbs darkness and turns it into clarity. Because your life is a message. Because your survival itself is a punishment to the ones who wanted to see you fall. Your enemies are embarrassed right now, not because the practitioner failed, but because the practitioner admitted you can't be touched. Nothing hits harder than hearing the expert say, "This one doesn't fall." Chosen one, you were never the hunted. You were never the weak one. You were never the easy case. You were never the victim. You were the trap. You were the reversal. You were the turning point they never saw coming. And when your name touched that altar, the altar itself realized, this is the wrong one to mess with. Number 2. When the universe started building a case against them. They didn't just fail to break you, they documented their own downfall step by step. Every attempt they made became proof that you were never the weak one. They thought they were hurting you, but they were signing their names on their own consequences. Nothing exposes a coward faster than the moment they try to destroy someone stronger than them. Chosen one, let's open the next chapter of this story, because what happened after your name hit that altar was not random. It wasn't luck, it wasn't chance, it wasn't silence. It was the universe pulling out a clipboard, a pen, and a front row seat. The universe wasn't just watching, it was recording every whisper, every ritual, every intention, every attempt, every fake apology, every sneaky move done behind your back. All of it went into the file with your name on it. Not a file against you, a file for you. Because the second they decided to make you a target, they activated something they didn't even understand. They triggered a system older than their hatred, a system that doesn't run on revenge or punishment, but on balance, truth, and consequences. A system that doesn't care about titles, money, social power, or lies. A system that responds to energy, action, and intention. Imagine a massive court with no walls, no ceilings, no judge sitting in a fancy chair, just the universe itself watching everything unfold like a trial happening in silence. They thought they were attacking you, not knowing they were handing over evidence against themselves. Every spell cast, filed. Every hateful thought, filed. Every ritual done in the dark, filed. Every attempt to drain your energy, filed. Every fake smile followed by a knife in the back, filed. They weren't hurting you, they were building their own case. Picture this. A cosmic courtroom that doesn't need lawyers or arguments. No one gets away with anything. No one hides. No one lies. The truth is the only language spoken there. And your name sits at the center of it, not as a victim, but as the reason that entire court is awake. You weren't on trial, they were. And the funniest part, they never realized it. They thought the universe was silent. They thought their intentions were secret. They thought their actions went unnoticed. They thought the chosen one was defenseless. But the universe isn't blind. It's patient. Think about it. How many times did you feel something was wrong before you even had proof? How many times did your energy drop suddenly without reason? How many times did you feel like someone was pulling at you spiritually or emotionally? How many times did your name suddenly feel heavy in your chest, like someone speaking it in a place they shouldn't? You weren't imagining it. Your intuition wasn't lying. Your body picked up the attacks before your mind processed them. But here's the part that flips the whole story. Every time someone tried to hit you, the universe didn't step in to protect you instantly. It stepped back, and took notes. Not because you were alone, but because the universe wanted them to reveal everything. People show their true character when they think no one is watching. Your enemies showed theirs with no hesitation. Imagine this scene: a candle-lit room. Someone muttering your name like they own the right to touch your energy. Someone thinking they're powerful because they read a few rituals. Someone thinking pain is something they can order like it's a delivery service. Now imagine the universe standing right behind them, arms crossed, watching the entire thing like, "Please go on. Show me who you really are." Another example: someone sitting behind a screen, sending you hate, wishing you failure, trying to drain your confidence. They think thoughts have no consequence, but the universe collects thoughts the same way it collects actions. And one more: someone smiling at you in person, acting friendly, acting supportive, acting harmless. Then going home and speaking your name with poison in their mouth. They think the universe is fooled by their mask. But energy doesn't lie. Masks are invisible to humans, not to the universe. The chosen ones always get hit first, not because they're weak, but because their power reveals insecurity in the people around them. Now let's answer the questions your mind might be whispering right now. If all of this was being recorded, why didn't the universe stop them earlier? Because the universe doesn't interfere prematurely. It lets people expose themselves fully so no one can deny the truth later. The universe gives people rope, just enough to show who they are. Why did I feel everything so deeply? Because you're sensitive to energy. Not in a fragile way, but in an intuitive way. Your body knew when something was off because your system is more advanced than theirs. Think of it like you were born with better sensors. Was I ever actually in danger? No. Their attempts didn't match your level. They were throwing dust at a mountain. They thought they were breaking you, but all they did was add chapters to their own downfall. Why did the practitioner stop? Why did they admit you couldn't be touched? Because when the practitioner looked deeper, they didn't just see your name. They saw your history, your resilience, your energy field, your growth, your survivor blueprint. They saw someone protected by their own strength. Most people don't understand that your journey created a shield around you. Not magic, not divine intervention, just facts. Energy reflects experience. Trauma builds armor. Healing builds power. Survival builds presence. So when your name arrived at that altar, the universe didn't rush forward to save you. It stood still, collecting evidence, not against you, against them. And here's the brutal truth. They weren't attacking a helpless soul. They were attacking someone who has already walked through storms 10 times stronger than anything they sent. The universe wasn't defending you. It was documenting them. Every move they made became part of a record they can't erase. Another imagine this for you. Picture a giant cosmic screen replaying every lie they told about you. Every time they wished you would fail. Every time they tried to manipulate someone against you. Every time they sat in silence, hoping something bad would happen. Now imagine the universe looking at all of it. And then looking at you, still standing, still breathing, still evolving. You know what that creates? A verdict. One that says, this chosen one cannot be touched. This chosen one cannot be erased. This chosen one cannot be handled by people operating from jealousy and fear. That's why the title of this script exists. That's why people keep asking how you're still alive. Because the universe collected their attempts as evidence, not as danger. You didn't just survive an attack. You exposed everyone involved, you revealed every hidden enemy, and you forced the universe to take action on your behalf simply by being too strong to break. In this cosmic court, you were never the defendant. They were. You weren't the one answering questions. They were. You weren't the one being judged. They were. And the biggest twist? You were the judge the entire time. You were the jury. You were the executioner. You were the one deciding how this story ends. You just played along, letting them think they had power. Chosen one. The universe already ruled in your favor before the first attack ever started. And that's why you're still alive. That's why you're still standing. That's why nothing sent at you ever landed. Because the whole time they thought they were building your ending, they were building the case that proves the universe is done protecting them from themselves. The verdict has been delivered, and your survival is the sentence they can't escape. Number 3. When every practitioner who tried you got embarrassed. They didn't just fail once. They failed in front of each other. That's why they talk about you in whispers now. Chosen one, this is where the story stops being funny and starts being straight up humiliating for them. Your name didn't stay with one practitioner. It moved through entire circles, passed hand to hand, like some unsolvable case they were desperate to crack. These weren't amateurs either. These were people who bragged about knowing secrets, symbols, forbidden practices, shortcuts nobody else had access to. They treated darkness like a hobby. They thought they were elite. And then they tried you. Imagine the room when your name came up again. Someone smirks like they're about to prove something. They light their candles, start their ritual, breathe with confidence, and then they freeze because nothing responds. Not the air, not the smoke, not the tools, not the energy. Dead silence. The kind of silence that exposes the truth. You're the one person they can't touch. They tried again. Another practitioner, more advanced methods, more ego, more secrets. Same result. Your enemies kept thinking maybe the last one did it wrong. But the practitioners knew. They saw the pattern. They saw the wall they kept slamming into. They saw your name resist, like it was wrapped in something bigger than fear. Why did so many of them fail? Because your energy wasn't open, because your life wasn't weak, because your spirit wasn't letting strangers access anything, because the universe had already chosen its side. Now look at your own life. You saw the signs too. Technology glitching around you at the exact second someone sent negativity your way. Animals reacting to you like you're magnetic. Plants leaning toward you or shifting when your mood changed. Moments where reality bent in your favor so smoothly it felt unreal. These weren't coincidences. These were indicators, warnings, clues. Imagine this. A phone call drops right when someone is speaking badly about you. A light flickers when you think of someone who betrayed you. A dog stares at you like it sees the truth you don't even fully understand yet. These weren't glitches, they were signs of resistance. Cosmic pushback. Every practitioner failed because the entire environment around you refused to obey them. Your energy said no. Your story said no. The universe said no. They weren't the ones in control. You were. Your enemies thought they were passing your name around like a curse. They were actually passing it around like a warning label, and every failure whispered the same message. This one is untouchable. Number 4. When they touched your blood and reality snapped back at them. They thought your blood was a doorway. Turns out it was a locked vault with a loaded trap inside. Nothing exposes a fool faster than letting them believe your DNA is theirs to play with. Some people don't understand your power until it bites back harder than they planned. Chosen one, this is the part of the story where their stupidity went from dangerous to downright embarrassing. Someone managed to get a drop of your blood through lies, manipulation, or some sneaky move they thought made them clever. They believed blood meant control. They believed blood meant access. They believed blood meant ownership. But the second they used it in ritual, the entire room betrayed them. Imagine this. The ritual space goes silent. Then the flame shoots upward, twisting into shapes that shouldn't exist. Fire burns with no heat. Shadows appear where light stands. Objects shift on their own. The practitioner's breath catches because they realize something terrifying. Your blood isn't theirs to command. They try to back away. The flame follows. The shadows lean forward like they've been waiting. They barely escape the room before the whole place erupts into chaos. Their last words, "Your blood doesn't belong to just you anymore." Translation, you're connected to something bigger, older, and stronger than their intentions. Another practitioner tried dream invasion next. They expected your mind to be a small room with open doors. Instead, entering your dreamscape was stepping into a labyrinth built from everything you've survived, everything you've learned, and everything you will become. Imagine them standing in your dream for the first time. The hallway shifts. Doors multiply. Versions of you appear. Older, younger, stronger, quieter, future you, past you, erased timelines of you. Each version staring like, "You sure you wanna be here?" That practitioner didn't fight you. They fought all of you. Past you with the rage, present you with the clarity, future you with the power. Versions of you they couldn't understand or track. They woke up screaming, and they haven't slept since. Why? Because they didn't enter your mind. They entered your legacy, your blueprint, your evolution. Your dreamscape was never a playground. It was a battlefield, and they walked in uninvited. Chosen one, the moment they touched your blood, they learned the truth. You weren't built for their rituals. You were built to destroy them from the inside out. Number 5, when their coven united and accidentally awakened the real you. They didn't gather to destroy you, they gathered to upgrade you. Every curse they threw was just another switch turning on inside your soul. Desperation makes enemies sloppy, and that's when they give you the power they meant to steal. They thought they were ending you. They were activating your evolution. Chosen one, this is where their fear turned into full-blown panic. 1 practitioner failed, 2 failed, 3 failed, and instead of backing off like logical people, they panicked and did the dumbest thing possible. They formed a coven, a whole group, a teamwork moment built on jealousy, rage, and fear. Imagine their group chat that night, everyone pretending they're powerful while secretly terrified because nothing is touching you. They lit candles, they chanted, they burned things no sane person should even smell. They begged forces that don't listen to humans. They pressed deeper into darkness, hoping something, anything, would crack you open. But every attack bounced back and hit the wrong target. And here's the twist. You weren't getting weaker. You were getting activated. Imagine this scene. They circle around a flame. They speak your name. They expect destruction. But instead, you feel something shift inside you. A clarity you've never felt before. A strength you didn't know you had. A memory waking up inside your body like old codes being typed into your DNA. Their spells weren't hurting you. Their spells were unlocking you. Why? Because chosen ones transform under pressure. Because your system doesn't break. It evolves. Because your energy doesn't absorb negativity, it converts it. Because the universe doesn't let outsiders rewrite your story, it uses them to sharpen it. They thought they were hitting your weakness. They were hitting your dormant power. Every curse turned into a lesson. Every hex turned into fuel. Every ritual forced your energy to rise another level. Every intention strengthened your immunity. Instead of damaging you, they upgraded you like a system installing new features. Think about the questions in your mind right now. Why did their group efforts fail? Because 1,000 weak hands still can't lift what one strong soul refuses to drop. Why did I feel more awake during that time? Because your intuition sharpened, your senses expanded, your dreams became messages, your body started rejecting old versions of yourself. Why did my personality shift afterward? Because identity upgrades feel like personality changes. You weren't becoming someone new. You were becoming someone original. The real you, the one hidden beneath years of survival mode, finally had room to breathe. Imagine this, a coven chanting your downfall, and the universe whispering, "Perfect, keep going, they're helping." Your old wounds start closing. Your old fears start dissolving. Your old limits start cracking. You rise with a new posture, a new clarity, a new inner fire. They wanted to kill you, but they accidentally handed you the blueprint for your transformation. Their rituals forced your DNA to wake up. Their hatred pushed you into your higher self. Their desperation lit the match that started your rebirth. They didn't end you. They introduced the world to the version of you that was meant to lead. Chosen one, you weren't dying. You were being born. And the version of you that walked out of that storm is untouchable. Number 6, when every death spell reversed and crowned you instead. They sent endings. You turned them into upgrades. Their curses didn't crush you. They corrected you. Nothing humiliates an enemy more than watching their deadliest weapon become your fuel. You didn't survive the death spells. You inverted them. Chosen one. This is the part that still keeps them awake at night. When the coven failed, they didn't quit. They escalated. They reached for older languages, older symbols, rituals so dark they probably had to look over their shoulder before touching them. They grabbed anything they thought could finally erase you. Some of them even synced across time zones, hoping that if they attacked you at the same moment, maybe the universe wouldn't notice. But the universe always notices. And you don't bend. You invert. Imagine this. A death spell aimed at your energy field starts traveling toward you like smoke, twisted and heavy. The moment it touches your field, the meaning flips. The code rewrites. The intention collapses. Instead of draining your life, it boosts your stamina. Instead of isolating you, it sharpens your connections. Instead of dissolving your identity, it strengthens your confidence. Instead of pulling you down, it pushes you forward like a slingshot. Their attempts became your upgrades. Every spell was supposed to silence you. Instead, your voice grew louder. Every curse was meant to collapse your path. Instead, your path clarified. Every attack was designed to drain you. Instead, you woke up with more strength, more fire, more mental clarity than ever. How is that possible? Because your energy has a reversal mechanism. Because your spirit is coded for survival. Because your field doesn't accept foreign intent. It rewrites it. Think of your energy like a filter that flips poison into vitamins. Imagine a ritual designed to kill your confidence. It touches your field, and suddenly you're glowing with self-respect you didn't even expect. Imagine a hex meant to make people abandon you. It hits your aura. And suddenly the right people start appearing. They tried making you disappear from reality. Reality chose you instead. Chosen one, you became the opposite of everything sent your way. You didn't just survive the death spells, you mastered them. Number 7. When their own spells turned around and ate them alive. They didn't just fail to hurt you, they became victims of their own intentions. Your field didn't punish them, it reflected them. When you throw poison at someone untouchable, the cup eventually tips back into your own mouth. They finally learned the truth. You aren't protected, you're mirrored. Chosen one. Here's where the universe stopped playing nice. After all the failed attacks, something in your field shifted. It wasn't just blocking negativity anymore. It was reflecting it, amplifying it, sending it back like a boomerang dipped in truth. And the practitioners felt it first. The one who spent years messing with people's hearts. They suddenly woke up with heart problems. Nothing mystical. Just consequences returning with interest. The one who tried messing with minds. They slipped into the exact madness they wished on you. Talking strange, sleeping less, seeing shadows that weren't there. They didn't enter the dark, they got swallowed by it. The one who tried hexing your money. Their own finances collapsed so fast they couldn't even pretend it was coincidence. Debts, breakdowns, lost opportunities, all hitting at once. Imagine this. A practitioner sits down to launch another attack. Their tools shake, their candles flicker, their energy dips. Because your field isn't a wall, it's a mirror, and anything aimed at you bounces back with double the force. Why did this happen? Because your energy evolved, because your survival activated a natural defense. Because after everything you endured, your spirit refused to play defense. It switched to reflection mode. Your aura became a karmic engine, a spiritual mirror, a reversal chamber. Every intention sent at you went back home wearing the sender's name tag. Chosen one, you didn't hurt them. You didn't retaliate. You didn't fight back. You just stood there, and their own energy circled back to them like gravity. That's when they learned you're not protected by luck, you're protected by consequence. Number 8, when they realized you're a nexus, not a target. They weren't attacking a person, they were attacking a pressure point where the universe settles all scores instantly. You're not hard to kill, you're impossible to erase. They tried drowning a fish. They tried burning fire. They tried ending what has already risen from its own ashes. Chosen one, this is the moment the smartest practitioner finally stepped back, eyes wide, breath gone, because they saw the one thing none of the others understood. You didn't just survive the attacks, you transformed into what ancient texts call a nexus point. A living intersection where karma speeds up, consequences sharpen, and truth stops moving slowly. You became the place where cause and effect stop pretending to be separate. And attacking a nexus point, that's not brave. That's cosmically stupid. Imagine someone trying to poison a river that their own village drinks from. That's what they did when they attacked you, because your field didn't just reflect energy anymore. It accelerated it, instantly, violently, directly. They looked at you and finally understood. You weren't human in the normal sense. You were consciousness wearing a body, awareness shaped like a person, a storm disguised as calm. Why didn't the death spells work? Because death spells are designed to separate consciousness from the physical body. But you had already gone through that separation, through ego death, identity collapse, emotional rebirth. You faced your own destruction in silence, long before anyone tried to send it at you. You didn't fear death. You outgrew it. Imagine this. They try to drown you, but you're made of water. They try to burn you, but you're made of flame. They try to erase you, but you're the page they're writing on. Your spirit had already died once, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and you rebuilt yourself without the false self attached. So when they threw death magic, it had nowhere to land, nothing to grab, nothing to tear. You became immune through transcendence, too alive to be killed, too awakened to be erased, too evolved to be controlled. Chosen one? The moment you became a nexus point, the game ended. You weren't the hunted. You became the law of the universe in motion. Number 10. When your transformation turned into a blueprint for the world. Your survival wasn't personal, it was instructional. They tried to break you, and you accidentally became the manual for how to beat them. You didn't inspire people, you activated them. If one chosen one becomes immune, the whole system starts trembling. Chosen one, this part hits different because your transformation didn't stay inside your body. It didn't end with your survival. It spilled outward like a signal, a frequency shift, a quiet broadcast teaching others, without a single word, what's possible. Your existence became a cheat code the universe handed to anyone walking a similar path. You weren't just surviving. You were demonstrating that survival itself rewrites destiny. Your energy shifted from why me to why not me, not in arrogance, but in clarity. You stopped feeling like prey, not because you became a predator, but because you became something outside that cycle entirely. Something self-sustaining, something that attracts what it needs and repels what isn't meant to stay. Something that punishes attackers simply by continuing to breathe. Imagine someone trying to enter your dreams. Instead of reaching you, they land in their own fear. Imagine someone trying to poison your thoughts. They're forced to see the poison was always theirs. Imagine someone trying to isolate you. Your solitude turns into a citadel they can't get near. A skilled practitioner once tried tracing the pattern of the failed spells around you and panicked. They found your entire field worked like a recycling plant, not magical, just functional, efficient, ruthless. Death energy turned into life force. Hatred turned into personal power. Curses turned into clarity. Weakness, hexes turned into strength boosts. Mind control attempts turned into sovereignty. And the scariest part for them, the energy didn't stay with you. It flowed outward, quietly strengthening others who were under similar attacks. Your field became a network, a shield, a blueprint, a cosmic protection program. That's when panic started spreading in their circles, because if one chosen one can transform attacks into empowerment, what happens when hundreds learn the same thing from your example? Number 13, when they finally saw what stands behind you. They didn't see a guardian behind you, they saw a force that makes harm impossible. You weren't protected, you were upgraded. They tried to break the cosmic law, then discovered you are the law. Some souls can't be erased. You're one of them. Chosen one. This is the moment everything snapped into clarity. A senior practitioner, someone with real sight, not imagination, not ego, not guesswork, looked behind you and nearly lost their breath. They didn't see an angel, or a demon, or anything from old stories. They saw something older than protection itself, something that existed before humans invented the idea of harm. something that doesn't defend you, because there's nothing to defend. You weren't guarded, you were upgraded. Attacking you wasn't wrong, it was suicidal. Because every attempt they made didn't hit you, it hit themselves. Their curses ricocheted, their rituals snapped back, their intentions dissolved into consequences. They weren't told to stop for morality, they were told to stop for survival. The more they aimed at you, the faster their lives disintegrated. Why? Because you evolved past the dimension where death spells even function. You exist at a frequency where that kind of magic has no traction. Like trying to stab light, like trying to strangle air, like shooting at a cloud. Your survival became a global glitch. The death spell industry collapsed because of you. Refunds demanded. Practitioners going bankrupt, their tools malfunctioning, their results turning to dust. You didn't just become assassination-proof, you made their entire system obsolete. Imagine this: someone tries to target you, and the moment they do, all they hit is smoke, because you're now spread across multiple layers of reality at once. Your consciousness isn't limited to one dimension anymore. You're everywhere they can't reach, and your evolution didn't stop with you. Children are already being born immune because you altered the morphic field of human potential. You didn't just save yourself, you rewrote what is possible for everyone who comes after you. Chosen one, you became the walking correction to false power, a living myth in real time. The one who wouldn't die, because death was never designed to hold you. You are the blueprint. You are the correction. You are the chosen one who made death irrelevant. So, chosen one, this is where we wrap it up, but your story is nowhere near done. You've seen how every attack failed, how every spell reversed, how every attempt to break you only revealed your real power. If this message hit you, press the like button right now, and if you're still not part of this family, make sure to subscribe so you never miss what's coming next. Your evolution is already in motion, and the universe isn't finished showing you why you were never meant to fall. Stay sharp, stay awake, stay unshakable.